And it isn't just that plant foods lack nutrients or that the nutrients they have are in inferior forms. Plants also contain other factors that inhibit nutrient absorption, and these are called anti-nutrients. This includes tannins, phytates, oxalates, glucosinolates, saponins, and protease inhibitors. This means that even when a plant food does contain a nutrient, the absorption of that nutrient may well be impaired. For example, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and kale contain glucosinolates, sulfur-containing compounds which impair the absorption of iodine, which may impact on thyroid function. Oxalates found in leafy greens and nuts, amongst others, can bind to calcium, not only limiting calcium absorption, but being a major cause of kidney stones. Phytates found in whole grains and seeds, amongst others, limits the absorption of iron, zinc, magnesium, and calcium. While the tannins in tea, including green tea, can limit the absorption of iron. So let's have a look and see what the magnitude of this effect on nutrient absorption might actually be. So this graph, courtesy of Dr. Georgia Ede, demonstrates the normal level of zinc in the circulation after a meal of oysters. See the impact of combining the same meal of oysters with black beans, which, like most legumes, contain several anti-nutrients. The peak level of zinc in the blood is reduced by more than 2/3. That still is not as dramatic as the impact of corn tortillas, which, like other grains, also contain several anti-nutrients. You can see the addition of corn tortillas to oysters completely blocks the absorption of zinc. So how much nutrition from tacos do you really think you're going to be getting? Of course, there is a counterclaim that animal foods are deficient in vitamin C. And if you were looking through the USDA nutrient data for beef, this is exactly what you'd see. The thing is, vitamin C levels weren't actually measured when they formulated this data. Rather, the widespread practice of assumption was employed. That is, it was assumed that the level of vitamin C in meat was 0, and it was simply recorded as such without actually measuring it. When it's actually tested, however, we actually find that meat actually does contain vitamin C, which is no doubt what we would have predicted if those working in the USDA were students of history. Throughout history, entire populations have been sustained on meat-based diets. Let's hear from Arctic explorer Vilhjalmur Stefansson, who lived with the Inuit for a prolonged period.
Well, now this raises the whole question of food. Then, surely there's some. You yourself must have longed for a green vegetable once in a while.
Well, I did at first. My first experience was that a ship that was supposed to meet me didn't meet me. Mm-hmm. And I had to become a guest of the Eskimos, and for 4.5 months, I lived on literally nothing but fish and water. Well, we had some blubber, some polar bear blubber, but apart from that, and at the end of 4.5 months, I was healthier than I'd never been before.
Likewise, at the bottom of the world in Antarctica, meat has long been used to treat scurvy. Indeed, there was complete recovery from an outbreak of scurvy during Robert Scott's 1902 expedition with the consumption of lightly fried seal meat and liver. Indeed, Scott's journal entry from the 15th of October in that year reported, "Within a fortnight of the outbreak, there is scarcely a sign of it remaining. Heald's is the only case that hung at all, and he is now able to get about once more. Cross's recovery was so rapid he was able to join the seal killing party last week." And even before Antarctica was discovered, the use of meat for scurvy was known. In fact, Napoleon's army used cooked horse meat during the 1801 siege of Alexandria to effectively curb an epidemic of scurvy. So no, eating too much meat won't in fact cause scurvy.